Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Wibbity Bobbity Books. My name is Ellie and this is going to be the start of a new reading vlog. So you might be able to tell that I'm not in my normal place of residence. I'm actually away at the moment. I'm on a little vacation, a little holiday with a bunch of friends. We've come away to this big manor house in the English countryside and it's so beautiful here. The grounds are massive, there's a pool here, there's tennis courts, there's loads of bedrooms. So it's just going to be the perfect little staycation with some of our friends. So I thought I'd get the camera out in case I want to take a few clips. I'm not sure how much I'm going to film just because I don't really want to get the camera out in people's faces, but I'm probably going to get a few clips here and there and to share a little bit with you. So yeah, I'm excited and I thought I'd open up this video, and the first thing that I'm going to do is share with you the stack of books that I brought with me, because of course I brought a choice of books. Whether or not I'm going to have time to read any of these is another question, but I just like to have a big selection with me because I'm a mood reader, and also I just find it comforting. It's my comfort having books with me. So yes, let's go through the books that I bought. So the first book that I brought with me is Diavola by Jennifer Thorne. This is a horror book that's set in Tuscany, so I thought it would be the perfect book to read in the summer season, and I'm so excited because I feel like it's quite unusual to find a haunted house type story that's set in, you know, somewhere that isn't like a dreary English manor house. So, you know, the fact that this is set in sunny Tuscany is just a little bit different, and I really enjoy that, and I think it's going to be perfect horror to read in the summer, so I'm super excited for this one. Then I bought The Galaxy and the Ground Within by Becky Chambers. This is the fourth and final book in her Wayfarers series, which is such a comfort series for me. It's a sci-fi, but it's kind of cozy, and it's just, I just love Becky Chambers' writing. She always explores really lovely themes within her books, and her characters are so great. And so I'm really excited to get to her final book in this series, but I'm also kind of sad because I have just loved all of the books in this series. So I'm really kind of sad for it to come to an end. But yeah, I picked this one up in case I want something a little bit more comforting to read. And then speaking of cozy and comforting, I also bought some manga. So I've bought the first 3 volumes in Witch Hat Atelier, which is a manga series that I've been meaning to get to for the longest time because I just love the art style and I think it looks so cozy and magical, and I just thought this would be perfect because it's the kind of story where you can just pick it up and flick through it and you don't have to be paying too much attention to it, if that makes sense. So I feel like if I get, you know, a few minutes here and there, this might be the perfect thing to reach for. So I'm so excited to finally get to this series. And then the final book that I brought with me is my current read, which is Lost in the Garden by Adam S. Leslie. This is another horror book. This is a folk horror, and I'm 50 pages into this one and I have thoughts already, but I'm going to save that for later because I don't have a huge amount of time right now. But yeah, I'm excited to talk to you about this one when I get the chance. But anyway, those are all the books that I brought with me for this little holiday, and yeah, I just wanted to say welcome to the video, welcome to the vlog. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll speak to you in a little while. Hey everyone, so it's quite a bit later and I thought I would catch up with you because I've got a spare few minutes to myself. We have had such a lovely day. We went to the shop and we got loads of food, so we're well stocked up for the next few days. And then we went in the pool because they have a pool here and it was absolutely freezing. It was so much fun going in there with everyone, and yeah, now I've come in and I've had a long soak in the bathtub, which was much needed because it got so cold in the pool. So I'm nice and warm now, and having a bath always feels so luxurious because we don't have a bath at home. So anytime we come anywhere that has one, I'm like instantly like, I need to get in that tub because I don't get the opportunity very often. So that was really nice. So I'm all clean now. The others are downstairs just watching a movie, and I've snuck away for a bit to do some reading and to catch up with you. So I thought I'd just quickly let you know my thoughts on this book, which is my current read. So this is Lost in the Garden by Adam S. Leslie, and it's a folk horror. And I've read the first 50 pages or so of this book, and it's not anything like I thought it was going to be, to be honest with you. This is pitched as a folk horror, and it follows three main characters, Heather, Rachel and Antonia, and they are going to this place called Almonby, and all we know about Almonby is that you're not supposed to go there, but Heather's boyfriend went to Almonby, and like so many others, he never returned. So the three of them are off to go to this place themselves, I guess, to find out what happened to him and find out what the situation is with this place called Almonby, and stuff gets weird from there. Now that brief kind of gave me an idea or an impression of what this story was going to be like, but it just hasn't been anything like I thought it was going to be, because it's a lot stranger and the horror comes in very early on and not in the way that I was expecting. So basically we start off following this character in this town, and we find out that there are these people that are just wandering around, and at first no one really knows what's going on. There's these like strange people just wandering, looking a bit lost, and then people start to recognize some of these wandering people, and they're people who have passed away. So they're like ex-villagers who have died, and now they're just wandering around. And it's not like they're zombies or anything, because they're not like decayed and gross, and like the graves are still intact and everything, so no one really knows what's going on. And the villagers start referring to them as ghosts, but they don't really do much during the day. They just have this like vacant expression on their faces, and they're just wandering around during the day. But I think at night they do try and get into people's houses, and they do attack people, so they are quite dangerous. But like, I just wasn't expecting any of that from going into this book, so I'm really surprised by that. And yeah, it has a very strange writing style. I'm gonna say I wasn't sure I was gonna get on with it when I first started this book, because I thought that it read quite pretentious. I'm going to read you a little bit actually just from the very beginning of this book, so you get an idea of what the writing's like and what I mean. So the first chapter is super short, and it opens by saying, "Ice cream van chimes elicit a synesthetic Pavlovian response. The sound tastes of vanilla, it tastes of chocolate flake and neon red spirals of strawberry sauce. It tastes of all the myriad possibilities illustrated in lurid colour beside the serving hatch. A miniature church cast in pinks and yellows and powder blues, its oversaturated bells calling the children of the parish to worship. The communion wafer, the communion soft whip ice cream, the blessed chocolate flake rearing from its icy white hillock like the pole of a holy crucifix, waiting for the crossbeam, waiting in giddy anticipation to receive the condemned Christ in his martyrdom, and the swirl of strawberry sauce right at the very end representing the blood of our Lord swirling down the hill of Golgotha." Like, do you see what I mean? It's a little bit overwritten, a little bit pretentious for my taste, I was going to say, that first chapter, but I think it was just making an impression, and actually reading further on, it's not quite as I don't know what the word is, not quite as over the top as that, but it's a strange writing style, and they're very short chapters, and it's a little bit jumpy, it's a little bit weird, but I think that's intentional. And yeah, just everything feels a little bit strange. Like, even the conversation between characters feels unrealistic. It just feels a little bit just not quite right, and again, I think that is deliberate, but yeah, it makes for a very strange reading experience, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about it at the moment, but I am intrigued. I want to know what's going on. Our main character's boyfriend has gone off to Almonby, and I don't know what the situation is there, and they've also started to hear strange things in the radio. So our main character of Heather, I think it was Heather, has found out that there's this radio station, and if you tune it right, there's this voice that's just talking this gibberish, and she recognises the voice as her boyfriend. So that's all very strange, so I'm very intrigued to find out what on earth is going on, and yeah, we shall see. It's a very odd book, but yeah, I guess we'll wait and see whether or not I'm going to end up really enjoying this one, or if it's not going to work for me. Anyway, I am now going to go and catch up with my friends again, and we're gonna have some food and chill out and play some board games and stuff, but I will catch up with you next time I've got an update. Oh, I did start the manga Witch Hat Atelier, but I'll talk to you a little bit more about that another time. Okay, speak to you soon. Hey everyone, good morning. I have actually snuck outside this morning before everyone's up to come and hang out on this swing because it's amazing. There's this swing attached to this big willow tree and it's so whimsical. It's like something out of the secret garden and it makes my soul happy. So I'm just chilling here on the swing and I thought I'd give you a quick update before everyone gets up. So yesterday I did actually start and finish Witch Hat Atelier Volume 1. So I've read this first manga and I really enjoyed this one. This was so magical and cozy and I just love the artwork. It's a story about a young girl called Coco who is obsessed with magic, and in this world magic is real but it can only be wielded by witches, and Coco believed all her life that you can only be a witch if you have like innate magical powers. But one day she sneaks up on a witch while they're doing magic and she discovers that magic is actually wielded with a pen, not a wand. So you draw magic, which is such a cool and unique idea. And so she decides to give it a go for herself. She has this magic book that was given to her by this mysterious witch when she was younger, and she decides to copy some of the sigils and things that are in the book, and in doing so she accidentally turns her mum into stone. And so now she's on a mission to rescue her mum, and she gets taken in by this mysterious character who takes her to this place where she can learn how to use magic safely, and the story kind of progresses from there. There's hints that there is some kind of a prophecy and that she is involved somehow, but we don't know too much about it just yet. But it's just such a fun world, such a cute character. I love the idea that you draw magic. It's just something a little bit different, and I just love the art in here. So I had such a fun time reading this one and I'm looking forward to continuing on with this series. Anyway, I'm going to start Diavola next, I think, because I'm craving something a little bit spooky. And yeah, just going to enjoy the day, and I guess I will give you an update when I've got one. Hey everyone! So it's been a few days since I've spoken to you. I've just been busy hanging out with my friends, not really wanting to get the camera out, so I'm really sorry for that. It is actually now our last day here at the house and we've just been packing everything up really, getting ready to go, cleaning. It's gone so quickly, but it's been such a lovely little staycation. We've literally done just all the cozy things. We've been in the pool a few times despite the weather. We have toasted marshmallows, we've played board games, we've watched movies on the big projector screen that they've got, we've played on the PlayStation. We also played a game of D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, which is a desktop role-playing game if you don't know, and my husband is actually DMing the game. He's basically running our campaign, and so we had a session on the big dining table, which was such a cool way to play the game, to such a cool setting. So that was really, really fun, and we had a big roast dinner, and it's just been such a nice sort of relaxing few days away with friends. So yeah, I'm kind of sad that it's come to a close. I'm sad that I'm back in work tomorrow, but that's life. But I just wanted to catch you up really. I mean, I haven't done a huge amount of reading just because I've been doing sort of everything else, but I did finish Witch Hat Atelier, which I think I spoke to you about. I really, really enjoyed that manga. I'm really looking forward to continuing on with that series. And I also started Diavola by Jennifer Thorne. I'm about 100 pages into this one, so I've made a bit of a dent in this one, and I'm quite enjoying it so far. It hasn't like been anything amazing. I think the focus of this one so far has been mostly on the sort of family drama and the tensions between this family. So it's basically a story about a family that go on vacation to this villa in Tuscany, and when they're there, strange things start to happen. So the villagers often act a little bit weird when they say where they're staying, and they warn them not to go into the tower. And there's been a few sort of hints at some creepy things going on, some creepy supernatural things. Our main character has heard some voices that shouldn't be there, sort of kids giggling and things like that. And yeah, there hasn't been too much scary stuff really at the moment. It's mostly been focusing in on the tense family dynamics. Our main character definitely isn't very likeable in this story. She's a woman in her 30s and she's there with her family. So her parents are there, her twin brother, her sister and her nieces, I think it is. And they have an interesting dynamic. I feel like our main character is quite provocative. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but she's not very tactful, and she tends to stir things up and rub people up the wrong way, and so she's definitely not a particularly likable character, but none of them really are. Like, I feel like yeah, a lot of the family, they just kind of like bicker, and it's quite tense. So I feel like the focus has been much more on that at the moment rather than the horror. But I think now that I'm 100 pages in, we're getting to that turning point now. So our main character has actually gone and opened up this tower, which has been off limits to them, had a little look inside, and I think now that they've opened the door and they've done what they shouldn't do, I think that something is going to happen. I don't know if they will have released something, I don't know, but I'm excited to find out, and hopefully it starts to get a little bit more spooky. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see where this one goes, and we shall see. Anyway, I'm now going to go back in to the house, continue packing up our things, and grab some breakfast, enjoy this sunshine while it lasts, and then go home and see the cats. But I guess I'll catch up with you in a little bit. Actually, just before we head out, I might just zip around with the camera and show you a couple of the rooms, because I feel like I haven't really given you a tour or anything because people have been here, but me and Danny are actually the last ones here. We're just packing up, so I thought I can quickly zip around with the camera and show you some of the rooms because it's such a cool place. This is the dining room I was talking about where we played D&D. It's so cool. It's such an atmospheric room, and we had like candles lit, and just, it was so like cozy and just a little bit creepy, which is kind of the vibe that we wanted for our session, so that's really cool. So yeah, such a cool space. This is a cute little living room. I need to actually open the curtains again. Actually, we had them closed last night because we watched a film and it was actually kind of creepy being here at night. Most of the others left yesterday, so it was just me and Danny last night, so it's kind of creepy. So let's open up those curtains. You can see a little bit of the grounds through the window. But yeah, this is such a cozy space, and up here there's like a big projector screen that you can pull down. So we had that down and we were watching movies and stuff and playing games, so that's really, really cool. Okay, and in here is another living room with a fireplace. That's where we did our toasted marshmallows and just hung out in here, played board games and stuff last night, which was really fun. So yeah, I really like this space. I don't know, the vibe of it is really, it's really cozy. And there's this really awesome tapestry on this wall as well, which is very cool. And then the last room to show you downstairs is the kitchen really, which is absolutely massive. So it's just through this way. Let me just flip the camera around. There's Danny. Hello. Packing up some stuff. But yeah, there's this like lovely little sitting area through here, like a conservatory area. And then there's this side with a big Aga and like loads of ovens. Beautiful. And then it's like a second kitchen over here. It's like literally so much space in here. Dishwasher, just all the things that you need. Okay, and I'll just nip upstairs super quickly and just show you the bedroom that we were staying in. There's loads of bedrooms in this house, like so much space, so many bathrooms. It's honestly like a bit of a labyrinth, like long hallways and just like, yeah, it's so cool. But this is the room that we were staying in. So let me just come in and then I'll flip the camera around. It's so bright and airy with literally 3 windows. It's so nice in here. Massive bed, which was super comfy. And then we had a little ensuite as well. I say little, big ensuite with a clawfoot bath and also a big shower. So yeah, we just had such a lovely stay here and we're sad to be going, but it is time to go and see the cats. So yeah, I'm just gonna go and help Danny put everything in the car and then we're gonna head off. So I'll catch up with you when I next have a reading update. Hey everyone, so it's been a few days since I caught up with you and I thought I'd better film an outro, and I thought I'd do it here whilst I'm out on a walk because it's such a beautiful day today and I don't know, I just fancied filming outside, so yeah, here we are. So what have I done since I last spoke to you? I feel like I haven't done that much reading since I came home from our trip away. I did end up putting down Lost in the Garden. I've decided to soft DNF that book just because I feel like now is not the right time for me to read the book. I think I went into it with a certain expectation and it just wasn't what I was hoping it to be, if that makes sense. I thought it would be a very straightforward folk horror that was reminiscent of Midsummer. I feel like it was pitched that way, and when I started reading it, it was very different. It was much more literary in tone and had a lot of paranormal elements that I wasn't expecting, and so I think that it's just not the right time for me and I want to give it a fair chance. So I think it's better for me to put it down for now and then reach for it when I'm in the mood and I have a better sort of understanding going in as to what the story is going to be like, if that makes sense. So yeah, I've decided to put that one down just because I feel like it might have led to a bit of a reading slump if I tried to force it. And I have also finished Diavola, which is the horror book set in Tuscany, and I did have a fun time with that book. It was fast-paced, easy to read, but I don't know, again, I feel like it left me wanting more. I think because I am a big fan of the gothic horror genre and I really love books that lean into that theme and that vibe and that aesthetic. So I was really hoping that we'd get more sort of atmospheric descriptions, more of a gothic style of writing within that book. And for me, it felt like it read a little bit more like a thriller or a mystery in tone. Don't get me wrong, there were lots of horror moments in there. There were some great horror tropes, some horror themes, some really horrific scenes and things like that. So it definitely is a horror, but I just feel like in the way that it was written, it felt more like a thriller or a mystery to me, and I'm not a big fan of that genre. And I think that's in part because a lot of the tension came from the family dynamics, because the Pace family is hugely flawed. There's a lot of issues going on within that family. None of the characters are likable, and of course that's intentional. Most of our main characters' family, in fact all of our main characters' family, are completely horrible to her and they treat her terribly, and that's definitely a strong theme within this book. And our main character isn't particularly likable herself. She definitely has a lot of flaws. She's not really one that I could root for just because she wasn't a particularly nice person. But she did get a lot of blame from her family. They definitely used her as a bit of a scapegoat, and they definitely sort of put the blame on her. It was always her fault, the reason why there were issues within the family. And that was a core theme within this book. You know, there was this idea that, is our main character kind of evil? Her family certainly think that there is some kind of darkness within her, and that, you know, this is the reason why things are going wrong. And the whole time throughout this book you're trying to question whether or not that's true. And so yeah, I just wasn't really that into the whole family trauma, like family chaos, I guess, within this book. It's just not something that I personally enjoy that much, and that was definitely the main focus. There was a bit of a mystery in this book as well. Our main character was basically trying to find out what on earth is going on with this creepy house, this villa that they're staying in Tuscany, and she does some research, she talks to some locals, but I found that mystery plot line ended in quite an unsatisfactory way, because I feel like she was doing this investigation and then she kind of found all of her answers at the end very quickly with a quick internet search. So I felt that was kind of unsatisfactory. And I also found that the way the character acted and behaved in this book was quite unrelatable. I feel like it was quite interesting what the author was doing, because she reacted in a very different way. So there was all of these horrific things happening within this house, you know, this house appears to be haunted, and the main character goes through a lot, but she kind of just handles it. She's almost like, I don't know, she's almost like, you know, she doesn't want to the haunting or the ghost to like win, so she just doesn't let it affect her as much. Like, she is scared, but she acts like she isn't scared. And I don't know, I just found that whole thing quite unrelatable, because if I was in that situation I would be absolutely terrified and I would be running for my life. So yeah, it was quite interesting that the author decided to go down that route, and it was a little bit different. So yeah, all in all, I have mixed opinions really about this book. It was entertaining enough, and you know, I did have a fun time reading it, but there were also things that just didn't really suit my reading taste, I suppose you could say. Anyway, I feel like I've been rambling on for a little while now, so I'm going to end the video here. I hope that you have enjoyed it. I hope that you are having a fantastic day, whatever it is you're doing. Don't forget to like this video if you did like it, subscribe if you want to see some more from me, and I guess I'll see you next time with another video. Bye!